Hello, I'm Steven, the calculator guy, and I just made a calculator. So this calculator is going to be for leveraged short farming, as you can probably read depending on how good your eyes are with the screen. Let me make this a little bit bigger for everybody. Yeah, so what this does is it allows you to calculate potential gains from leveraged short farming positions given a few different scenarios. It is not a perfect calculator by any stretch of the imagination. There are still a few things left that I think need to be added, but it's good enough for like some basic projections and ideas of what's going on. So, the reason I made this is because it was highly requested after the last leverage short farming video. Please do watch that if you don't understand what the hell's going on here, because it may help you. Basically, a leverage short farm has two parts. It has one money market part, also known as a borrowing and lending platform part, where you will collateralize a stablecoin and borrow a volatile asset like Solana or AVAX or Phantom or Matic or all these other L1s, usually what I go with. And then the short farm, or the farm, where you go and you farm an LP that you leverage up for better APY. I already have made a short farming calculator without leverage, so that's why this isn't that. If you want to go use that one, by all means go ahead and use it. Just Google or YouTube calculator guy short farm, and I think I've linked the calculator in that video. All right, let's just dive right in. So maybe I'll open up Solend and Francium as an example of this strategy, because that's what I'm using at the moment. You can also use Alpha Homora and Aave, or you can use Taro and Geist. There's any number of combinations of borrowing and lending platforms and leverage farms that you could utilize this strategy with. So, money market. I like collateralizing USDC. It's my favorite stablecoin. I know it's not decentralized. Well, DAI is technically my favorite, but you couldn't collateralize DAI on Solend. So USDC is what I collateralized. I did not collateralize $10,000. I'm going to use that as an example here, $10,000. LTV liquidation, well, we can see that, right? Where do we get that from? We click on this. We click more parameters, and it says we get liquidated at 85%. That's the liquidation threshold. Cool. Now I know. So, go over here, add that interest rate. The interest rate right now is a little inflated by extraneous circumstances, but we'll put it in there just for fun, right? We'll call that 64%. Okay, borrow AVAX. What is the interest rate on AVAX? It is, we'll use Solana. So the interest rate on Solana is 1%, negative 1%. So we'll do negative 1.05%. We'll also change this to Solana. We'll say that the amount, well, the price right now is roughly $30. We don't want a 99% LTV, so we're going to go with $30. What would we think? 33? No. 300? No. 150? We're getting closer. Yeah, 150 is probably good. We could do 166. That's what we're looking for. Okay, so at 166 of these $30 Solanas, we're going to be at an LTV, right, loan to value of 50% roughly, and that's where I like to open these short farms at. I like to be at 50% LTV because that gives you a 70.68% increase in price buffer, right? The price has to go up to $51, which means you have a $21.2 price buffer, right? Solana has to increase by $21.2. Price liquidation is $51, right? So I like that. That gives me lots of comfort. I'm happy with that, and you can still make decent yields. So that's the money market part, and that's done, right? So we did that part. Now it's time to take our Solana that we borrowed, right? So we collateralized USDC. We borrowed some Solana. Now we want to take that Solana over to Francium and enter a position there, presumably. So let's say we want to enter this Solana Orca. That's technically what I'm in. Maybe we want to enter the Solana USDC on Radium. So let's say we do that, right? And so we're farming. Let's do farm. I don't really have any Solana, but presumably you would enter the Solana here. You would click borrow two assets, and so that's right. So you're entering with that 166 Solana that you borrowed. So I guess I could do 166, right, just to make it more authentic. And so we're entering with 166. As a reminder, anything that's green on my calculators, don't touch it. Anything that's blue, edit. right? So all these blue stuffs, you can edit, green stuff, no touch. And you're entering with 166 Solana. Cool. So if your leverage is 3x, right, you effectively are getting a yield on 166 times 3, which I can't do right in my head. I should be able to, because 66 times 3 is one of those easy numbers. But, 166 times 3. So, borrowed Solana, right? If you go on Francium and click borrow 2 assets, move this little slider around, and if you click 75%, then you are borrowing 25% Solana, 75% USDC. If you click 25%, you're getting 75% Solana, 25% USDC. Clearly, the 25% is a little bit more of a delta neutral position where the movement of the asset up or down doesn't really dramatically affect your price. If you borrow a lot of Solana, if you borrow a little Solana, you're more long on Solana, and you're more long on Solana. So you can change these around however you'd like. Totally up to you. So I generally do the more neutralish position here, but that's just me. That's just what I like doing. You can do whatever you want to do. And also this makes me more short on Solana, which I like, because if Solana goes down, that's generally good for me. Now, in this way, right, the Solana that you end up shorting for this is 166 Solana out of the total Solana that you need, which is 166 times 3. So you've effectively shorted a third of the Solana that you have. Okay, cool. And then you're longing $5,000 because you borrowed this much. You're going to be selling 166 Solana for the USDC in order to compensate here. So honestly, I don't think this is right unless this is USDC denominated. If this is USDC denominated, then it's equity. So I wish it wasn't USDC denominated, because then you would see as this goes down, your Solana is actually going up, the amount of Solana you have in the position. But because this is USDC denominated and because you entered with Solana, it's actually going down. And if you were here, and as this was going down in price, you would actually be getting, it would be more neutral in terms of Solana, not USDC. I wish you could change that. That's the one thing that I wish was malleable. Otherwise, I like this setup a lot. Okay, so I digress. That's what you enter in here, right? 75%, 25%, totally up to you. We're going to borrow 75% just because we were short on Solana. Leverage is 3. And there we go. So, 1 second. Yep, no, that's right. So here, the APY, we can look at the APY over here. APY, if we're doing that, we click 365. We're looking at 192, so we're going to type in 192. Future Solana price, that's totally up to you. I'm saying, like, if we're 100, let's do 50, let's do 30 days out, right? Let's be crazy. Let's say the future Solana price is like $22. That's the next major point of resistance, in my opinion. If we look at the charts, which we don't have to do, but if we did, I'm gonna. That's where you'll see what I consider a major point of resistance. It's just a pivot point, but it aligns with a lot of other big numbers. It's also the price at which the giant whale in Solon gets liquidated. But here you go. See? Roughly $22. We'll see if we get there. Okie doke. So, APY right there. Future Solana price right there. This is just, that you think it's going to go to in the next 30 days. And so then what do you get? You get the future Solana quantity and future stable quantity in that short farm, right? So you can see the initial quantity. Oh, I don't have the initial quantity. That's too bad. The initial quantity is just this times 3 divided by 2, which I thought I had somewhere, but I guess not. I think it's hiding over here. Yeah, there it is. So maybe I'll add that. Basically, if the price goes up, you end up with less Solana. If the price goes down, you end up with more Solana. So future stable quantity, vice versa. Solana farm yielded is just how much Solana you've farmed from the LP rewards, right? In terms of, this is just the APY in terms of Solana, basically. Okay. Now, future Solana impermanent loss P&L. This one's kind of confusing. Basically, the way this works is that if the price of Solana goes down, then you end up with more Solana in your LP, right? Because the price of Solana goes down, USDC has to purchase it to be equal, so you end up with more Solana in your LP. This is just how impermanent loss works. I think most of you guys probably know this. But because of your loans and your borrows, the actual formula for this is kind of weird because, so what I've done effectively is looked at, like, after you pay back your stable and after you pay back your Solana, how much Solana are you left with after that, given the impermanent loss, right? So after you've paid back your debts, how much additional Solana do you have after you no longer have debts and you're not counting your initial? So that's 53. So the impermanent loss P&L in terms of, I guess I could call this fiat, would be 1,173. Cool. Okay, so that kind of makes sense. Now, after all that, right, you have all these sort of estimated values at the end. So estimated strategy APY, this is 96. So what this is really, it's just the 192 divided by 2, or 192 rather divided by 192 times the LTV, which is 50%. Why is that? Well, because you're on the strategy where you initially put in $10,000, you're only going to be really getting farm rewards on half of that, right? Estimated yearly yield is based off of this, 96% times your initial. Okay, so but then the total farm return, which is your total amount of Solana yielded plus the impermanent loss P&L of Solana, so these two Solanas added together, times the value of Solana at that time, so $22. Money market return, so you would have made in 30 days $520 just because of the crazy high interest rate of USDC. Total P&L is just these two added. Total ROI is just this divided by this, right? The percentage return that you've made in that 30 days. And then actual annualized ROI is just this ROI annualized. And that's it. That's it, guys. What this doesn't take into account is the liquidation factors in the short farm, presumably because if you look at the short farm, no matter where you borrow, liquidation vectors are pretty far away, right? You almost can't get liquidated, which is pretty cool. Like we'd have to scroll out dramatically more to even see where our liquidation levels were. And I don't think we're going to see $61 Solana anytime soon, nor like $50 or $80 AVAX. So that's it, guys. That's basically how you use this. If you have any questions, leave them down below. If you want to use this, I will put it in the link or description. If anything is broken, also put comments. I'll go ahead and fix it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Join the free Patreon to hang out with us. Join the paid Patreon to hang out with us more personably and to support my work. And that's it. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Peace.